Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I'm really excited to share with you what I think makes Salton Sea such a great bang for your buck as a heavyweight game. So this game I had the opportunity to play at Board Game Geek Convention, and I faded fast. You might recall I was in the midst of recovering from a severe ankle break, and boy, I just couldn't make it through the rules instruction. And it's a bigger game, so you want to make sure that you are aware. But when my husband played it after I went up to take a nap, he said, "This is something you would really like this game. There's something about this." And so I was very intrigued. We got back from the convention, and of course he got it. We got it on the table, and I just sunk my teeth into it. There are just these kind of heavy games that have crunchy feel to it, where you just are, really making things work bit by bit by bit. Things are tight, money is tight, all your actions are just really, built on one another. And I find those kinds of games incredibly appealing. And for me, the theme is always taking second place to the mechanics, because I can't remember the names of the things in this game. And to me, that just is like, I'm not into drilling. I'm not into brine, geothermal energy, and lithium. So everything else is pretty basic, though, when it comes to these kinds of financial business games. So I say it's a really great bang for your buck when it comes to a heavyweight game. This is almost a 4 out of 5 on complexity rating. It is a 2-hour game minimum, and it's 1 to 4 players. So what I think, I'm going to show you right now, I have the box on my thumbnail, but this is a slim box. I mean, this is small. This is so small for a heavyweight game. It's such a surprise that it comes in a box this small. When you unpack it, everything starts to really unfold. It's almost like all the cards, you've got these smaller cards. They're not so tiny that you can't pick them up or read them or understand what's on them. But everything is compact. The player board is this small. You have your drilling opportunities going down. You've got these contracts up here in the top space for these things right here. You also have your science or technology upgrades that you put up here. You have ways to, upgrade your system to do better with all of your brine, geothermal energy, and lithium. And then everything is just this nice color-coded meeples and shapes and little trackers that you keep on your board. And out here, you've got your cards, all of your decks of your 1s, 3s, 5 money. On the other side of every dollar bill is an action card that you can invest in. So this game has a multi-purpose use with the cards, in the sense that they are money to use to purchase things, but they're also the actions that you use in the game. And when you use them as an action, they go down and they can't be used as money until you take it back the next round. At the end of the round, you take your cards back, and now you've got your investment back. So when you do them as actions, it's such a sleek, just intuitive system of, oh, I'm not going to spend the money, I'm going to use it, and you get it back. It's really cool because the basic actions on a player's board are super basic. You get to do all the basic actions here. But there's no discount, there's no advancements, there's no bonuses, there's no nothing. You just get the basic. The number 1 cards give you, every player starts with 1 of every of the basic cards. So there's 7 in here. You start with that as your starting hand. And so you can play them down with your active meeples. Everyone has 4 until they advance this track to gain this one, and this one. So you can gain more workers as the game goes. I love games where you get more workers and you have to work towards getting more workers. And the faster you get to your workers, the more actions you get than other players. I love that feature in games. This has that feature, which again allows players to choose their own path, but also just grow, and you develop, and your game blossoms. And I love where you start small and then you grow until you've got this really nice, well-oiled machine filled with all this cool drilling and these contracts and these technology upgrades and everything. It's just the best. So your one cards are pretty basic. These are examples of the one cards. They might give you a bonus dollar, or they might give you a dollar discount, and they might give you multiple actions of the same actions. Like you can do that thing more than just once. The three cards are just a little bit better, and they let you do things maybe a little bit more efficient rate. You might get more money back. You might start getting victory points. And then the $5 cards are even cooler. So money is limited, and that's another feature I really like in the game. If you take money during the game, you take cards in the middle of your, so you play a guy and you put them out and do your action. Next player goes, and it goes around to you. And everyone keeps playing until, of course, you're out of workers. And the cards are going to slowly start disappearing, but they might also go back out as paid money to get things. So there's going to be this kind of discard pile. There might be some missing cards here and there. Whenever there's no money in increments of what you want, you can't take them. There's no drawing from the top of the deck. And so it has this closed economy for every single round, and that's another fantastic feature. I think it's just so clever, and what you see is what you get, but there might be a face down card that you take as money, but it becomes a possibility for an action once it's in your hand. So that the money feature, the action feature, it's just really, really cool. And there are a lot of actions. You'll see here, we've got, these are just the actions listed in the rule book. It says here, you've got your industrial actions: acquire a drilling license, drill, extract, process, and repair machinery. All of this is related to your drilling. And that's going to, again, be over here. To acquire a license, you have to get these cards, and then you're going to place them down here, and you're going to drill down, gaining the brine, and brine is going to allow you to essentially get the other two, which are going to be valuable, because if you want to trade these back in, you now have this shareholder chart up here. So this, you have to get the contract, then you have to drill, then you have to extract, then you might want to sell them up here, and you're going to move your marker up on this track, getting cool bonuses along the way, moving your marker on this track along the way, and you'll see here that there are 3 different shares to invest in, and the shareholders all want different things, and they all are going to give a different cost for what you are turning into them. And they do essentially go through and change for the start of the next round. So that's one angle you can take, is just mining and turning it back in for money. Over here, you're going to get all the actions again to do things over here. These contracts are going to ask you to turn back in those things, right? These are going to be 3 lithium batteries, but oh my gosh, are you going to get a ginormous bonus? $11 in any combination of money you want. You are going to get, victory points, movement, access. These are going to be really, really cool bonuses in there, but they're hard to get. You have to essentially get a lot of these, and you'll notice you can only keep one of each before you bonk out, and you essentially need to turn this over just so that you can get more of the bottom 2. You can only gain that many of those items as you make your investments in your upgrades. So there's so much to do in the game, and everything is connected to everything else. And there's just this really great system of having to mine. It's one of the only ways you can get these resources, but when you do that, it taxes your machinery, it taxes your workers. And you're going to see here there's a repair action, because once you start taxing your workers and your machinery, you're going to start losing points at the end of the game. So once it gets into this red mark area, you're not allowed to do those actions again until you repair it. But even if it's here and here, you're going to be losing those points here on the track at the end of the game. And you need to make sure you repair as much as you can to get things back into the good area where you're not losing those victory points. There's a lot here. There are a lot of other actions. I did talk about the ones that were related to your drilling. There's commercial actions like sell, enter into a contract, and then execute a contract. I've been talking about those contracts. Those are going to be related to your commercial. And then there's like management. You've got your research, you've got buy shares, business development, which is moving your marker further to get more workers, obtain financing, and then repeating an action. And those are going to be over here. You can do essentially getting money, and you can also do the same action again, but for $1 cost. So this has all the icons. It has all the information. Every turn is really straightforward. I say I'm going to put my worker on any striped space, which is any of these basic actions or any of my cards, and then I just simply do that action, and then it's the next player's turn. So you have a very straightforward action choice. There are many actions to pick from, which makes this a more complex, heavy game, and of course everything is interconnected, but it's not too challenging. You're like, oh, this isn't that bad at all. I'll simply just play this, put my worker on this space. I'm going to gain $1, which means I get to take any one of these cards that I'd like. Ooh, I want to do, no, I don't need to repair. Here, I'll take this one. This is a research. This is a technology. So maybe I want to take this card into my hand. It's $1. And I will take any of the contracts that are up here. I put the contracts, and I'm only allowed to have 2. So I'm going to take a contract and hope I can complete it. This one looks relatively easy. It's one of each. So I simply take that and I put it up here in my space, but right now I don't have enough space. So I'm going to do that. And whenever I want to execute it, I will simply put this down here on the execute a contract. And I put it down there when I'm ready. And I essentially have to have one of each, and I pay, and then I gain what's in the bottom right there. So that was my one turn. I did my worker, I played my card. I get to take that card back into my hand at the end of the round, so I'll have my money back. But that's going to be essentially it. And this just has such a nice feel. Everything is still pretty compact compared to heavy games that I've had on my channel lately. This just does it. It takes it in compactness, it takes it in complexity, and it takes it in finances. So in the real world, this game is absolutely affordable. That's the biggest bang for its buck. On Devir's website, it is a $39.99 game. So for $40, you get this. And it is again going to challenge you. First play or two, you are simply just acquainting yourself with the actions, the iconography, and really how this works and how you can push it and where maybe you've pushed it too far. This is one of those games where players are essentially pecking order, trying to get up this track sooner than some of the other players. So maximizing and not forgetting about the stock or market track is crucial, because the way the game ends is if 2 of these tracks are fully depleted, someone has reached all the way to the top, or you get through all of your drilling contracts. And so that's where the game is at. You want to drill and you want to invest. And then these are going to allow you to do other things as well, help you do these, but that's really the crux of this game. So I have to say that sometimes Devir is hit or miss for me. A recent game I reviewed was Sand. Sand, I felt really just too much spin. I was spinning my wheels and not really feeling like I was getting anywhere. I felt like it had a slow start, and I didn't necessarily enjoy the pick up and deliver mechanism, even though I love that as a mechanic. But Red Cathedral is a favorite, even White Castle to a certain degree, less favorite, but still good. And then I get this and I'm just like, Salton Sea. I mean, it's kind of for me, a harder name to remember. I'm not familiar with it. And it's got all this technology and drilling and energy terminology that just doesn't sink in, does not work for me. But the game itself is quality, is dynamite. So this is probably my favorite of theirs of late. And I really, really, really can't even wait for another 2024 release that I just haven't gotten my hands on yet. It's Daitashi. The designer is Danny Garcia, who did Barcelona, Arborea, Windmill Valley. I mean, a lot of great games of late. And it's just as heavy as this. I think it comes in a bigger box. But I really love the complexity of some of these heavier games from Devir, medium to heavyweight. But this is my latest hot take, especially for the size of the box, the complexity, and the cost, which totally affects your wallet. So, dynamite stuff here. I mean, just really good. Honestly, every time I talk about it, I'm like, let's play it again right now. It is a 2-hour game, but a delightful, delicious, sink your teeth into 2-hour game. So that's going to be my review for Salton Sea. Enjoy and definitely use your player aid card. Okay, folks, I'll see you later. Bye.